Greetings from Cybertron. This is SoundJack here with a review of the Transformers Prime Robots in Disguise Deluxe Class Wheeljack. So, as Soundwave was my favorite Decepticon, Wheeljack is my favorite Autobot. I am particularly fond of this version of Wheeljack because this was given to me by a friend for my birthday. And I've kept him with me since then. So it makes it really unfortunate that I broke him. But we'll get that into a bit. Let's start off with talking about his vehicle mode, which, according to the wiki, is apparently a combination between the 2005 Lancia Phenomenon Stratos concept car and the 2011 Lancia New Stratos concept, which is appropriate since the original Wheeljack was a Lancia as well, and it looks quite good. Let's get up in the front. On the hood, we got some of Wheeljack's traditional red and green going on. We've got a little bit of gray for these like vents going on. You can see some headlights, but they're not painted in, unfortunately. Going to the front, you've got a couple of gaps that travel to the bottom of the vehicle, but we'll talk about that later. On the sides, you got some wheels with some silver paint going on. It's a little bit of a sparkly paint going on. On the sides, you get a little bit more red to pick at the sides a little bit more. Back wheels also got that silver paint going on. On the top, we got some translucent blue plastic for the windscreen. We got some more red and green on the top. We got some grays going on here. It's a little hard to see, but the whites going on here are different. So are the grays. The grays, you can't really tell that there is much of a difference, if there's really any, but the whites, there is a clear contrast because the white is painted onto to this part. But anyway, we got a spoiler that's also just not painted, even though there's a little bit that looks like that could have been painted, but it's not. And we got some paint on the tail lights instead of the headlights. Underneath, it's a lot of robot. It's a very strange robot if you try to figure it out from just looking at the bottom of the vehicle. It's going to be it's a very interesting transformation, but we're not at that point yet, because we have to also talk about the accessories that come with Wheeljack. Namely, these two swords are what Wheeljack comes with. They are some very nice swords. Let's take a closer look at one of them. They're the same. There's just a solid gray plastic handle. It's got this little tab. The sword itself has the same sparkly silver paint going on that was on the hubcaps, and there's also a little text, but I have no idea what that's supposed to say. Again, they're the same. Exactly the same. And these do interact with his vehicle mode. So, the main way that you're told to do it is that there's a tab right there that goes into a slot there on the sword hilt. And you can plug that in. Do the same on the other side. And then Wheeljack has this tack mode that he can use to tack along with his wheels that roll really well in his car mode. But he's a saber-tooth car. Okay. Besides that, with these tabs, they're able to go in these holes here on the sides of the car, so as they can attach like that, giving him a sleeker concept. And I guess if you want to like side bump someone, that could cut them up, I guess. Or if you don't want him to have like an attack mode in his vehicle mode and just want to store them, you come down here. You will end up using sure if you can see it. There's these tabs that come out of what will be his robot feet, and a hole in what will be his robot mode shin, and they correspond to the hole in the sword and the peg as well. And you just tab them in like so, and they store underneath the vehicle, and it hinders nothing when it comes to the rolling. All right, now let's look at a size comparison. Here he is with Titan's Return Legends class Bumblebee. Let's see how they scale. Deluxe class Chrome Dome. They're about the same size. They're the same height. About the same. Voyager class Megatron. You can see how they scale. Leader class 6 Shot. So you can see Wheeljack, certainly a little smaller than him. And this channel mascot compatriot, Soundwave. Obviously Voyager class. At the very least, obviously not a Deluxe class like Wheeljack is. You can see that. So, that's all there is to say on the vehicle mode. So let's move on to the transformation and get to the robot mode. All right, so first thing, let's take the swords out here. Let's take the swords out and put them off to the side. So first what we're gonna do is we're gonna come and we're gonna split the windscreen. And we're gonna pull this entire side out. There's tabs there that's fit into slots there. There's tabs on the windscreen that fit into tabs on the other side of the windscreen. If you can see that, those tabs. Everything else kind of just frictions in, but frictions pretty well. You'll repeat that on the other side and you'll see where I broke him. Yeah, unfortunately, the lower arm is where I broke him. And it's because of how the lower arm transforms. So we'll pull this entire arm out. It just kind of accordions out like so. And then to finish the arm, you're going to have to pull the arm out in order to give it the room to rotate. And then fold it back in to finish the arm. What happened with mine was that this was tight on this side. That this was very tight with the pulling it out and tabbing it back in, slotting it back in. And one of the times I was transforming him, it just ripped out. So that makes me very sad. I can give him a complete vehicle mode, but it doesn't help at all in the robot mode, unfortunately. But let's finish transforming this arm. All right, so next thing that's gonna happen is I'm gonna come down here, I'm gonna pull this white section out. This tab goes into that slot right there to hold that all together. And this entire section is going to fold back, and this tab will go into that slot there. Now what's going to happen is these sections that the arms are attached to are going to rotate up. You'll rotate the arm around so it's got the clearance to move off that hinge, off this hinge, and fold this up on that hinge. You'll repeat that on the other side like so. Okay, so these two tabs that where the roof of the car will go into these slots here. On top of that, there's these two hinges that you're going to move, and you're going to slide this section that has Wheeljack's head, as you can see right there, through to make it up to for everything to line up properly. And this tab will also tap into that slot there. So as you can see, all of that moves together, and that all tabs in, and there you go. And you can pull these fins out. Next, we go on to the legs, and we're going to split the car front in half. We're going to pull this particular section out with that tab going into that slot. That tab will rotate and go right there into that slot. And then, very nice, a thing I like about this transformation is this entire front section slides on that pin right there, and then rotates to complete the leg. And then you just move the foot up, rotate at the hip, and then you got that leg done. So you repeat that on the other side. You'll pull that out, tap that in there, slide it up, rotate, fold the foot out, rotate at the hip. And there you have Wheeljack in his robot mode. If it will focus, yes, there it goes. There's Wheeljack in his robot mode. And I do like him despite the arm falling off. He still looks very good to me. Coming in close here, let's look at the head. You get some silver paint on that faceplate, and some silver on the behind the faceplate. There's some blue light piping going on there. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to get very... there we go. We got a little bit of it there. We got a little bit of light piping going on there. There's also silver on his earpieces and the forehead, and the rest of it is just gray. It's just a dark gray. Going to the chest, you see the chest as it was in the vehicle mode, though yeah, that was all the same, right? No, that's a fake piece, because what was the green that was there is now on the back of these wings. Unfortunately, there's no Autobot symbol there, which is where it would have been, but at this point in this series, they didn't seem to like not putting the logos on the characters. Whatever. And then there's a black windscreen here to replicate the windscreen that is now on his forearms that you can see there. Going off to the sides, you see the wheel has moved there. You see the door panel. You can see the inside of the arm and the hand, which is very nicely detailed if the lighting will cooperate. Perhaps I have to back off. Yeah, you can see he's got individual knuckles and joints and all of that. And it looks very nice. Coming down, you get some details on this crotch section. You got some gray going on in there on this white. You got these spiky knees. You got the fronts of the vehicle on these legs. And you got the wheels on the sides. And the back is coming into focus. And it's the back of the car, and then the gappy legs. But yeah, it's the back. What are you going to do? All right, so his swords also work in the robot mode. Oh, don't fall, Wheeljack. Wait a second. So now let's look at the articulation on Wheeljack. So his head is on a ball joint. It can go up and down. It can rotate. You can get him to rotate his head all the way around. His arms are on ball joints, so his arms can rotate the full 360. They're able to pivot in and out a little bit. He's got an elbow joint, which gives him like 4 less than 90 degrees of elbow bend, but then you can use this upper joint to give him more bend. So he's technically got 2 elbows. His arms let's give him the good arm. His arms are a little weird because they kind of are interestingly jointed and do hang down on him pretty much, and also defaultly are splayed out. But I still like it. It's still good. It's not like a terrible thing. It's just different. Back to the articulation. Get the arm out of the way. We got a ball joint for the knee, so his legs can go that far forward, that far back. They're able to go that far out. There is a swivel here that allows that much articulation. His knees are less than 90 degrees. Yeah, it looks like less than 90 degrees. His kneecap, his knee spike is also able to bend. So you can just leave it up like there if you want, or you can have it come back down with the knee, and you can just jam someone with that knee. His feet are very articulated. They are on a ball joint, so they can go all the way back that far forward. This is where I normally position it, if you can see. And they can swivel in and out. So he is able to splay his legs out very far and still be standing, which is quite cool. And now to talk about his accessories. In his robot mode, of course, he can hold his swords. Well, he couldn't hold both of his swords, but he lost the arm. He can hold his swords in his hand, like so. Because there's a tab and this is still a 5mm post, you can hold it like that if you want. Okay. You can also have him store the swords in the same ports that were available in his vehicle mode if you want. If you just want him to have the shoulders like that. If you want to give him some pointy shoulder spikes, or if you want him to just charge at someone and just stab them. It works on both sides too. Or you can have him store them in his back. There's nothing that holds it in really. It's just a slot and gravity. So you can just drop the swords in like that. And he is able to store his swords on his back, like so. All right, that's all about all there is on the robot mode. So let's get into some size comparisons. Here he is with Times Return Legends class Bumblebee. Let's get them in a better shot. Deluxe class Chrome Dome. Chrome Dome's a little taller in terms of head, but these spikes make Wheeljack just taller. Megatron. Lower room for you. Leader class 6 shot. Very smaller than the leader class 6 shot. And with this channel compatriot, Soundwave. And I still think they look quite good together. So, overall thoughts on Wheeljack? I quite enjoy him. If you really do like this toy, this character. This is a very good version of the character to get. Be careful with that, with his arms is the main thing I can say, because I have suffered through personal experience with that. Oh no, very good toy, very good representation of his character model, as best as a toy can do with such a design. And yeah, that's all I have to say on Wheeljack. So, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please like and share this video and subscribe to the channel. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at SoundJack426. Also, please consider donating on my Patreon page to help support the channel. All of the links will be in the description below. Thanks for tuning in. This is SoundJack signing off. So, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please like and share this video and subscribe to the channel. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at SoundJack426. Also, please consider donating on my Patreon page to help support the channel. All of the links will be in the description below. Thanks for tuning in. This is SoundJack signing off.